You were never meant to be ordinary. Your name has become a whispered legend, a coded warning in circles where secrets are everything. Investigators, some of the best, have tried to track you, but one by one, they walk away, shaken. Not because you're a ghost or a threat, but because you are something else. Elon Musk, a man who redefines the impossible, speaks your name now. They try to understand you, he says. But maybe you're not meant to be understood. The game changes. The world watches. And you? You weren't just chosen. You chose yourself. They come ready with equipment ready and notes in hand. They have previously monitored others, so this shouldn't be any different. However, it is. Something changes the instant they target you, even before they start working. It begins subtly with a prickle on the back of their neck, an odd silence in the air, and the feeling that someone is watching them even though no one is there. They first disregard it. They tell themselves it's paranoia, a byproduct of spending so much time working in the background. So they go onward. They check places, ask around, and attempt to put you in a pattern, something predictable and reasonable. The disintegration starts at that point. What ought should be straightforward becomes complex. What ought to be clear becomes hazy. They hear your name, but it has meaning. Each word conveys an implicit caution. They follow you around, but the trail turns and twists and doesn't take them anywhere. They exert more force before abruptly ceasing. It was because something stopped them, not because they succeeded or discovered what they were seeking for. A force that cannot be seen or denied pushes into their thoughts, into their chest, into their very being. It is neither panic nor dread. It's recognition, something more profound. An insight beyond reason, a knowledge they are unable to articulate. They look aside, shut their notebooks, and drop their tools. They always say the same thing when they get back to the person who sent them. Leave it alone. This isn't because they were afraid. Rather, it's because they saw something they weren't supposed to see. They have the best predictive algorithms, behavioral analysis, infrared scanning, and cutting-edge technology. They have previously followed persons who don't want to be discovered, ghosts in the system. They've always been successful. Then everything breaks down when they meet you. Not everything occurs at once. Their software lags at first. Their monitors detect areas that are illogical. But you weren't here. They are unable to verify your existence, but they can see your shadow. They rerun the data, finding no mistakes or rational explanations for failure. Nothing at all. They follow their instincts, which tell them to strive harder. They broaden the search, gather video from all perspectives, examine your movements, and seek for trends. However, no pattern can be found. You don't vanish like someone sprinting, and you don't move like someone dodging them. You just don't exist for them. It becomes worse as they attempt to approach closer. Their techniques don't work on you, not that they can't see you. Like attempting to use a matchstick to map the ocean, or attempting to follow a flame by capturing its smoke. They don't comprehend as much as they push. Years of experience have sharpened their instincts, which begin to turn against them. They experience an indefinable force field and an unseen wall. They reject you. Their instruments don't break down. It's as if the cosmos itself forbids measurement, tracking, or capture. Even if they don't comprehend it, they are confident that they weren't supposed to discover you. It becomes stronger the longer they observe you. Their minds wander. Their hands get wobbly. They lose sight of the original reason for their search. They concentrate and shrug it off, but it recurs. You take a deep breath, glance at your phone, or even move around a room, and yet it seems like the cosmos reacts. Their chest feels heavy, but they don't know why. They hear things in their minds rather than with their ears. A presence, a warning, a whisper. They have no idea what it is. They are aware that they are being observed, even if they came here to watch you. They detect it even if it is illogical and nonsensical. Your presence distorts the world around you. They make an effort to get information, but it eludes them. They make an effort to keep their distance, but something draws them near. It's something else, not danger or terror. recognition. All of a sudden, they are no longer the hunter, the observer, or the tracker. The witness is them. Furthermore, what they just saw was never intended to be seen. Leave a comment. Their hunt comes to an end with me. Every tracker, hunter, and seeker will come back if they stop at the boundary of your existence and are unable to continue. However, they are not equivalent. They were assigned to follow you, collect data, and deconstruct your behavior, habits, and presence into something manageable and comprehensible. Now, however, they have no explanation. They seldom speak. They sat in front of their bosses, looking at an empty notebook and a blank screen. The information they were meant to gather is no longer there. They were expected to prepare reports, but they had no purpose. What are they saying? How would you describe a basic yet non-physical encounter? How would you describe the instant when reality itself took on a new form? Every statement seems incorrect, despite their best efforts. The weight of their experiences causes every effort at reason to fail. They became part of the tale, even though they were meant to chronicle you. Their reports seem more like confessions than intelligence briefings. I don't know what happened. Something was there, I can't explain it. But they aren't normal. No, not normal, something else. Some of them completely give up writing. Some people abruptly quit their employment. Some never even come back. Because monitoring you was a message, not simply a duty. And it was clearly accepted by them. Your presence rewrites people, not simply deters threats. They enter with the idea that they are investigators and leave with the realization that they were never supposed to become involved. And they know now, not just believe it. They anticipate being in charge and going undetected. However, you alter the equation. The earth underneath them vanishes more and more as they dig deeper. They first label it paranoia. However, you are not unknown, because paranoia is a fear of the unknown. There is no denying you. They are unaware that they are being examined. They believe they are studying you. Their techniques? No use. Their strategies? No use. There is no need for you to hide or flee. You are above their comprehension and beyond their grasp. Nevertheless, people see you as a force rather than a presence. It becomes more obvious as they proceed. This was never about observing you. This was about the results of their attempts. They are the ones who are looking over their shoulders by the time they discover the answer, since the true inquiry was never, "What are you doing?" but rather, "Why are you still untouched?" It is them who are attempting to vanish, because you make the hunters become the prey, not merely avoid being pursued. They believe they are taking the initiative, that they have the right to pursue you, and that their timing, plan, and approach are all well thought out. They are unaware that you were previously aware. You had already disassembled the intelligence before they collected it. You had closed all the roads before they even stepped foot. You had already put an end to the topic before they had even spoken your name. You anticipate rather than just respond. Something changes the instant the idea crosses their mind, before the plan is put into action, before the first command is issued. Their plans abruptly go apart. Their strategies fall flat before they start. Their whole strategy becomes outdated, and they have no idea why. How are they going to combat something they don't comprehend? How can they be ready for an undetectable threat? You are not only ahead of them, you are functioning at a level that is incomprehensible to them. This is accuracy rather than intuition or chance. You see their movements before they happen, so you don't have to wait for them. They never had a chance of winning the game. They plan. You've already seen the result. They get ready, and you've already shut the door. They make another attempt, but their goal is neutralized before they can get started. Because you never had to. Not because you resisted or fought back. They don't know how you maintain your lead and how every effort to follow you ends in failure. It's something far more sophisticated than simple avoidance or evasion. You exit a quantum precognition region. You know before they plan, and you see before they look. And they've already lost before they've even taken a single step. Just stop there. You indeed. It's okay if you don't feel this message. It's not for everyone. Proceed. But you'll know this is for you if you sensed it in your bones. Those who don't belong, those who are able to look behind the curtain, They were instructed to be quiet, to settle, to conform, but they were never able to do so. Ordinary things don't interest them. They are not here to obey the laws of others. They are the unstoppable, the untouchable, the storm that shatters illusions, and the light in the dark. They are following their own road, alone if necessary, while the rest of the world is busy going around in circles. They do it because it's who they are, not for the praise or acceptance. This is dedicated to those who take something that was intended to ruin them and turn it into something that is magnificent. Those who possess knowledge that can only be acquired, not taught. Perhaps it's time to locate your folks if this speaks to you. More than 400 of us come together to exchange knowledge, make connections, and undergo transformation in the Obsidian Inner Order, the only site of its type, and the top ascension nexus for chosen ones. Just the truth, no games or masks. The description contains the URL. You'll know where we are if you're ready. It's also okay if it's not. You have an option. You're not moving by yourself. You are never left unattended. You are not protected by a theory, a belief, or good fortune. It's active intelligence, a force that moves precisely to neutralize dangers before they have a chance to get to you. They believe they can follow you and that their schemes will work out as planned. However, they are always thwarted by something. Their equipment fails at the most inconvenient time, their communications falter, and their technology malfunctions. After rerouting and trying again, they encounter yet another obstacle, a financial problem that wasn't there yesterday, an unexpected impediment, or a misunderstanding. Every effort to go ahead fails. It's intervention, not happenstance or resistance. Not only are you protected, but something invisible and unfathomable is keeping you safe. They're not sure what to call it. Energy, destiny, or some invisible force that is changing their results. They are unaware that it is exact rather than abstract. The fundamental foundation of their plan starts to fall apart the minute they lay eyes on you and believe they have a plan. Ignoring the indications, they attempt to push beyond it and go onward. However, the doors crash more forcefully the harder they push. They begin to be questioned by those they trust. They start to have doubts. Unable to explain why, some may turn away entirely. How about you? You take no action. You don't need to fight back, so you don't. Because the result has already been determined by the forces around you. It's already gone by the time they comprehend what's going on and begin to wonder about the impossibility of the failures that are stacked against them. They would never make it to you. They had no intention of doing so. There is no need for you to hide or flee. They attempt to find you in the hopes of apprehending you and putting you in a logical system. However, you are not a part of their system. You are both visible and invisible, everywhere and nowhere to them. They anticipate a chase, but because they are unable to describe what they cannot catch, there is no chase. They do the scanning, file searching, and movement analysis for you. Nevertheless, your life is fleeting. You're in the records 1 minute, and then you're not there at all. They're certain they have you 1 second, and then you're gone like smoke. They don't comprehend they never had you in the first place, so they believe they lost you, because you override them rather than avoid them. You have a flowing energy that moves across different planes of experience. You are a force, a light, and an indisputable presence to those who are supposed to perceive you. However, you disappear to those who try to map you, monitor you, or make you into something little and quantifiable. They are betrayed by their own eyes and rejected by their own systems. They keep watching the video, believing they saw you and that you were there. However, nothing exists. It is truth. It is neither magic nor deceit. Since you are not a fixed position on a map, you are not a target. Unreachable, untraceable, and unstoppable, you are a contradiction. They will never be able to see what was never intended for them, no matter how hard they try. They believe they can observe you, they believe they can research you, and they believe you will understand their intentions. But you don't ignore them, you don't oppose their attention, and you don't fight their quiet. You reroute it instead. Something changes the instant they concentrate on you. Their motivations are unclear, their thinking are disorganized, and their motivation for following you starts to shift. It takes time. They first think they are in charge. They make notes, do analyses, and try to create a profile of you. However, they become more lost the farther they go. Because for them, every attempt to encroach on your world is an experience. They mirror themselves in every notion they have about you. Every strategy they come up with leads to unexpected questions. What are they doing? What makes this feel different? Why does their purpose seem so illogical now? They make an effort to persevere, to get back on track, to stick to the goal they were assigned. However, something within of them shifts. Their intentions disintegrate. The need to comprehend you becomes the urge to spy on you. The want to manipulate you evolves into a yearning to examine oneself. They don't understand you disclose their own truth. They believe they came to find yours, because you are a reflection and not a target of monitoring. And by the time they turn away, they have changed from the first observer. You didn't have to block them or engage in combat, because the incursion was a fantasy and never reached you. The individuals who are responsible for all of this, who are pulling the strings, who are always sending people after you, will not stop. To the extent that they believe they do, they possess resources, power, and control. They think it's possible to trace everything and everyone, that someone will deliver them an answer if they put enough money, personnel, and force into observing you. However, it always ends the same way, regardless of how many they send or how much work they put in. They await reports, affirmations, and evidence. Instead, however, they get quiet, or worse, bewilderment. The trackers return one by one, rattled but not triumphant, not victorious. When they sit down to explain, they struggle to find the right words. They make an effort to explain what transpired, but their descriptions are incoherent. And that response, that reality, enrages the one who sent them. We lost track of them. They were there and then they weren't. I don't know how to explain it, but we couldn't touch them. It's bigger than us. Because they won't accept it. They don't accept that you are out of their grasp. They thus send more. They alter their strategy and treble the resources. And yet the same outcome, nothing, occurs each and every time. They believe they just need a better team and are dealing with an illusion. They fail to see that this is about you, not strategy. You're not running from them. You're not fighting them. They can't control you. Their report will never make sense, and they will never have an explanation. They also fail more often the more they attempt. Since their system does not include you, and neither wealth nor power can ever alter it, they eventually give up trying, not because they've discovered you or succeeded, but because it's no longer worthwhile to pursue you. They cannot understand you. You are beyond their systems. They create instruments to locate individuals, but you are a force, not simply a person. They developed techniques to record movement, but transcending is more than just moving. You cannot be measured by statistics, predicted by algorithms, or mapped by a plan. Because the framework does not include you. You are just untouchable. You are neither fleeing nor hiding. They don't believe it at first. All they needed was more time, more money, and more sophisticated equipment, they convinced themselves. However, nothing was effective. You are something to be observed, not something to be sought for. And only those who are supposed to see you will. You are a power they cannot identify, a whisper, a myth to them. You are an oddity to the world, both present and absent, everywhere and nowhere. What does not exist in their realm is impossible for them to trace. They are unable to track what travels across worlds. Furthermore, they are unable to constrain what cannot be contained. Unbound and unshaken, you are sovereign. You were never intended to be discovered, not because you struggle to remain concealed. You travel the globe unnoticed and untraceable, not by accident, but on purpose. Professionals, hunters, trackers, the best, they employ them one by one. They are quiet, unrelenting, and ready to attack. However, they all come to an end. They all come back with quiet voices and empty eyes. They all tell the same thing. I saw it. I felt it. I won't go back. There are no specifics or justifications, just unadulterated, uncontrollable dread. You do not hide, you do not flee. However, they are unable to approach or touch you. They are stopped by something they won't explain, something you can't even see. Why do they continue to try? Why do they continue to send them? Because you are unique. Nobody is like you, yet you're not like the others, and they must understand why. However, they are unable to. They won't, because everything in you and everything around you will prevent them. That tug, that shift, that invisible line they can't cross, you felt it. Share your knowledge with everyone. Share your observations with everyone. Or don't. However, they will continue to arrive and fail, because they can't discover you, comprehend you, or claim possession of you. Leave a comment below, tell your tale. Or don't tell anybody, but be aware that they are observing.